So I want to take you through a journey so that you understand this thing very, very well. Hi, how are you? I love your glasses. So last weekend, I sat on my balcony. And when I sat on my balcony, it had just stopped raining, and I noticed that some birds perched over my car park. And I wondered if 29 years ago, right, the 1st of October, which is today, was the same as it was 29 years ago. Was it possible that there was no electricity in Warri 29 years ago? Was it also possible that the inventor breakthrough in 1957, which was Henry Ford, right? You know, he started the Industrial Revolution, the assembly line for motors that brought forth the power, the electric lines that we were using to connect light into our homes. And there were a high possibility that some places, some middle-class people, some old men, they had not gotten this particular technology in their house as of that time. True or false? But last weekend, I was able to do all these things. I was able to do all these things through my solar automatic changeover inverter. I was able to drive myself to this place today. And we can also refine crude oil using heating systems and transformation that has been available over time. True or false? This is a typical example of what? Of an evolution. Hi, please, the next slide, please. So, I want you to listen to me that the essence of a revolution is to destroy the perfect and enable the impossible. We are connecting the disconnected to enable a change and sustainable growth, and that is one of our purpose as leaders of this particular what? Or this particular revolution. We must actually work both internally and externally to what? Move through this particular what? Revolution. You might want to ask me, what revolution do I speak of? And the revolution that I speak of, 20 years ago, I grew up in this same town. Right? And up to this day, there are time criers that walk through this town, warning about festival period. Maybe they want to do a new coronation. That was like 20 years ago. Then you guys used to remember all those Igbo guys, all those red cloth guys that used to come out. It's town crier guys that used to tell us about the information so that we all what? Stay in our houses. But I want to ask you guys now, that is it possible that my very good friend at the back, Mr. Ogaga, the one that introduced me, was it possible that he sent a town crier to your street this morning, to wake all of you up, to gather each and every one of you for this particular event? Right? Wait, if you got the information of this particular program via social media and you were here today and nobody needed to remind you, please kindly put up your hands. This, again, is an example of what? Of an evolution. Please, kindly take me to the next slide. The truth is that the biggest problem with man is trust. If I walk up to this beautiful lady now and I start talking to her, the first thing in her mind, she will be trying to say, will this man be able to take care of me? Will this man love me? Will this man do this or that? Our first problem is what? Trust. If this man wants to give me a contract worth hundreds of billions now of dollars, his first issue with me might be what? Trust, to be able to what? Complete that particular what? That particular project. So before trust, the biggest problem of man was what? Was trust. But we had a problem before trust. The problem was information. Before the internet, the biggest problem of man is that we had knowledge gap. So something the internet as a technology came to do for us was that it came to bridge the knowledge gap between the rich and the poor. Now, you see, that particular technology called the internet fixed it. Now, as a trust-based, open, unchangeable, irreversible technology, because that's what Mr. Ifeanyi defined blockchain as, the guy that just spoke, is open, is irreversible, and you can what? You can access it. The blockchain made it possible for us to rely more on maths, data, and less speculation, which means that we can now actually code things, right? And do not rely on what? On favoritism. The war in Ukraine, how many of you heard when NSAS movement happened in Nigeria and there was Bitcoin funding to be able to do what? Solve some of those problems. Even in Ukraine, they donated over $30 million to help them with what? Relief what? Materials. Now, Ukraine might not have been the favorite country in the world to what? To receive support. But because of blockchain, we removed what? Favoritism. And this, 1 year ago, there was one guy, Donald Trump. He was banned from Twitter. How many of you? Now, that's the president of the most powerful nation. That's the most powerful man on planet Earth. True of us. But nothing could stop the most powerful man from being disengaged from a platform because of coding and what? Mathematics. This is also what? A revolution. Please, kindly go to the next slide for me. My very good mentor, Steve Jobs, he was the one that said that once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes what? Everything. And as a certified blockchain architect and a certified MetaVerse expert, my job here today is to destroy the perfect and make what seems impossible, right, possible to you. So for me, I call a good day as a day that I make what? Change to what? To happen. And today, we're about to what? Make change happen. You guys can go on rumedominic.com. I have these 2 books on this particular subject matter that will give you an in-depth understanding of this particular what? Of this particular subject matter. Kindly go to the next slide. So you can have any one of the 2 books, either Wealth of the Blockchain or An Evolution to the what? To the Metaverse. This revolution actually enables easy coordination. Easy what? Coordination. Now, how do I mean by easy coordination? Just like I said earlier, yesterday, none of us that is here right now, none of us was here, right? Next tomorrow, none of us that's here now will be here. True of us. The revolution has enabled easy coordination. We do not need these particular what? Old systems to be able to what? Gather at a place and what? Do something interesting. The revolution also enabled trust. The revolution also enabled global idea sharing. And how do I mean? Today, you can go on any platform online. You go on Google, go on Bing, and just what? Pick an idea. If you have an idea now, and that idea can change the world, you can go online and share that idea, and in less than 1 hour, there are people, if that idea makes sense, that would have retweeted that idea around the world. You might have up to 100,000 retweets. True of us. It's the revolution into the Web3 economy, into this particular metaverse economy, is also enabling this what? Global idea sharing. The last thing I want to take you through is that this particular revolution, right, also enables something that is called what? Permissionless. And what do I mean? Today, is there anybody you've been trying to... Today, it's possible that you might want to reach maybe one of the celebrities, and you cannot find any one of them here in Warri. But without permission, you can go to that celebrity's DM and do what? There will be no bouncer that will what? That will stop you. True of us. The revolution, again, enabled what? A permissionless what? Economy. Next slide, please. So, why is it important to skill up? Why is it important to skill up? You know, Web3 and the metaverse enables something. it actually enables you to have true digital ownership. That's the first thing. Number two is that it enables you to what? Have interoperability. Now, how do I mean? I want to break these two concepts down. True digital ownership. Now, there's high possibility that you can upload some of your content online, on Facebook, on YouTube, and then it gets deleted. Some of you can say it's not true. It cannot happen. But is it your father that owns Instagram? Their content, sometimes we go there, we've seen them, it's what? Deleted. It means we do not truly own that particular what? Platform. Now, Web3, the metaverse, enables this particular shift to what? True digital ownership. Now, if your money is in the bank and the CBN shuts down the bank today, you cannot have access to what? To that particular money. Maybe if you worked 100 years and you can no longer have access to your money, it becomes a big what? A big problem. But if your money is saved in a digital wallet, and in that particular digital wallet where your money is saved, right? You have the private key. You can go to Ukraine, even though they are fighting Ukraine, and just bring your digital wallet private key, log it into a new life wallet, and you'll be able to download your $1 million life raw cash in your what? In your wallet. True or false? It then means you truly have what? Digital ownership. Am I right or wrong? Something else Web3 enables is interoperability. And when I say interoperability, what do I mean? Interoperability is the ability for you to be able to move from one platform to what? To another platform. Now, this man has 10,000 followers on Instagram. This guy has 20,000 followers on Facebook. This man has 50,000 followers on Twitter. But if he posts something on Twitter now with his 50,000 followers, his followers on Facebook will not be able to what? Engage. He cannot move his 50,000 followers from Twitter and take them to what? To Facebook. To be able to have that what? Engagement. So Web3 as a technology enables you to have what we call what? Interoperability. Meaning that you can move your data after you have hustled for it. You can now go with your assets into what? Another platform and have true digital ownership of your arsenal moving with you to that what? To that particular what? Platform. And that is what Web3, the metaverse, enables as a what? As a technology. So I said something that why is it important to skill up? The global economy, right? There's a competition for the best jobs and the best roles, and this goes to regions and cities that are creative, entrepreneurial, innovative, and free thinking enough. If I am Google, I want to bring some jobs into Nigeria. If I come into this room, I will look for people that have enough qualification, thinking capability to be able to what? Pick that particular what? Job description. True or false? So it goes to the economy that is what? The global economy that has what? Entrepreneurial spirit, the ones that are creative, the ones that are innovating, and the ones that what? Are free thinking. Well, I've heard about the digital economy, the Web3, the metaverse, the NFT. We've heard about community building. How do we assess the digital economy using these innovations? I stated something very clear there, that in Warri, we have over 4 universities. We have an airport. We have a seaport. We have a train station. We have a golf course. We have a stadium. Please, what's in a smart city that is not in Warri? Can anybody tell me what is in a smart city that is not in Warri? We have refineries. True or false? Youths, young blood, are you guys listening to what I'm saying? So why is it that we are not able to leverage on the infrastructures to be able to deliver enough value? So how would the metaverse be able to change things like this? So let's talk of the universities, for example. Let's say for the people that are in the pharmaceuticals, right? Let's say for students that want to, because one of the major concepts in Web3, in the metaverse, is the ability to be able to use augmented reality and virtual reality. You see, when you go to ShopRite, you see those things that you wear like this on your face, and you are seeing one or two things that are not real. That is an example of a virtual reality type of device, and a virtual reality type of scenario. So for the people in the universities, let's say, instead of like this man, apologies not to put you down, let's say this man is not perfect in surgery yet. He's a student, he's learning. He needs to operate about 5 people to be perfect in operating somewhere around the pancreas, right? Or the pancreas. Now, for him to be perfect in that, he might need to do like 1, 2, 3 operations. With the metaverse, with Web3 as a technology, you can simulate this particular incidents, perform these operations in the universities, get perfect in them, and be able to shoot out to the world as a great doctor. True of us. What of the engineering guys that are in the universities, the ones that are manufacturing cars? Now, they want to be able to run those simulations. And you can run these simulations too in virtual worlds. And if we quickly use these 4 universities here to be able to delve deeper into harvesting the capabilities of this particular technology, just like Dubai has done. Dubai created a new economy for metaverse, which would employ 40,000 people. This Warri refinery here, ideally, is meant to employ about 80,000 people in this particular place. So 80,000 people are put out of jobs because of an inefficiency. Are you guys following me? So if we put this now, let's say we do this for our seaport. We use for the seaport, metaverse, blockchain, Web3 type of technology. You know, one of the major characteristics of all this blockchain and metaverse is that it is very transparent. What happens in the seaport? They move crude oil and petroleum products. You guys now implement some of these technologies into into that particular place. Now, they say they move 5,000 barrels from point A to point B. But they actually busted 7,000 barrels there. But they told you and they wrote on the book that they move 5,000. Or maybe they even wrote 7,000 there. But before the book got to you, they have changed the figures. But with blockchain, that particular figure cannot be tampered, and the Seaport Authority will be able to have enough data tracking for for that particular transaction. So it can quickly help to be able to change some of these particular things and get our economy going. What we are collectively as Deltans, right? Apologies. What we have collectively as Deltans is our human dignity and our prosperity. This particular human dignity that I have, it is not something that is a young man thing or is an old man thing. To have dignity, please, is it for only the young people and for the old people? To be wealthy, is it for only the young people or the old people? It is not. Is it for only Robo? Is it for only Shekiri? Is it for only Ijo? The truth is that the heartbeat of each and every one of us that is gathered here today is that we want to have enough knowledge to be able to code the future for efficiencies. I have a quote on my social media, Dominic_Rume, that we can fix 10,000 inefficiencies in Africa using just the blockchain technology. And that is the reason for my passion, to be able to fix the inefficiencies in Africa using blockchain technology. So let's come back to the topic. The metaverse and Web3 are game-changing innovations. These are catalysts that can speed up what? Change and make us to what? Level up. When something impossible shows up, those people that are used to the perfect systems, they always do what? They always say no. But the question I want to ask you guys today is, because I'm not sure if you guys want to change the game. Are you guys interested in changing the game? Are you guys interested in changing the game, or do you want someone else to change it for you? Are you guys interested in changing the game, or do you want someone else to change it for you? You're interested in changing the game. I like that particular response. So, according to popular belief, worry no dey carry last. Are they lie? Worry no dey waiting, carry last. Abi are they lie? Area. So, please, kindly move to my next slide. Let me quickly see. So, let's imagine a future where blockchain, the metaverse, and Web3 helps us to start a revolution and create a $1 trillion economy where we can start exporting talents globally from worry and also improve the standard of living here. I tell you the truth, I lie not. I have friends that are in this particular worry on a monthly basis. Some of them earn $2,000, $3,000, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 by doing the work of the what? Of the future. They work for companies that are not in Nigeria because they have this particular skill set. Some of them know how to develop games, game development, EVM, program smart contracts. And they're able to work with what? Some of these blockchain companies that are not what? In Nigeria here. And they earn what? Dollars. Right? They pay them what? In cool, hard, fresh currency. So Web3 and the metaverse are catalysts that can speed up this particular change that we want, and it will level up your standard of living, because the major reason why people travel outside this country is that they want to earn dollars. But you will be here, you will know about this technology, you will learn about this technology, and you'll be what? Implementing it, and also what? Earning foreign what? Currency. Then you will now change it to what? To Naira. And when you change it to Naira, you go just a buka. I tell you the truth. So as a people, we collectively saw worry go down, despite its infrastructure, its amenities, and its ability to self-generate revenue. This happened because of war. There was a time in worry. I don't know how many of you still remember. There was a crisis, I think in 1999, 2000, 2001 crisis. Before worry was one of the best economies in this country. We had Schlumberger, we had Shell, we had Chevron, we had Halliburton, just name it. But because of that particular war, we don't even have the basic amenities, which are the seaports, airport, and all those things that I made mention. They are not what? Working anymore. And this has been because of what? Of war. I went through a little bit of statistics, and it was said that it takes about 10 years, right, for a war-ridden state to come out of what? Of that particular thing. Let's take examples. How many of you have heard what happened in Bayelsa, OD? That they bombed everybody, killed their mama. Bayelsa, O2A, you guys remember that song? They are still suffering from what? The challenges of war. It takes 10 years, ideally. Worry, old kingdom. Old worry is still suffering from what? From the war. So we see that prosperity now is inextricably linked with the era of what? Of cooperation, growth, stability in the local economies. Now that there's stability, right? Now that there's cooperation, we are seeing what? We are seeing growth. So as businesses are going digital, right? Businesses are going digital. Economies are also what? Going global. You guys don't want your businesses to go digital. That's one of the major reasons too why you are what? Why you are here. True or false? So as you push your businesses to go digital, know that we are cherishing this particular style because of the advantages that it gives and because it creates new market opportunities, as this will lead us to what? To prosperity. It allows us to take the lead, since we can now use this particular technology to develop cutting-edge solutions for what? For traditional businesses. So you use the blockchain as a technology to develop solutions for what? For traditional businesses. Let me give you an example. Like before, it used to be only kabu, right? You can stop cab. But now you can do it on what? You can do it on both. The internet enabled what? One level to what? Scale up higher. Before, if I must send money to you, I must open my UBA bank or my Fidelity bank. Now, take it one step higher, disrupting traditional businesses, putting in cutting-edge technology. If I want to send money to you now, I'll just bring out my Exodus wallet, my blockchain wallet, my Verem wallet, and what? Send you that particular what? That particular money. So, the solution is for us to continue to do what we are doing right now. We keep investing in ourselves, in education, in the workforce, because this is a very young what? Young population. We keep investing money into what? Into the education, so that every child today, because every child today has access to the same level of information that I have, if they will truly seek it. Just by what? Going and what? Settling down to get it. And this started when the internet came into play. So, I want to urge us today that we should be the first city that is willing to go the extra mile to learn how to take control digitally and improve our cyber security here. We must also ensure that we are remaking these structures to meet the demands of the what? Of the new era. Because we can turn worry to the Silicon Valley of the what? Of the South. And how do I mean? If each and every one of you here is well developed intellectually to start exporting your intellectual capacity, right? To start exporting your intellectual capacity outside this particular country, you will be shocked at how much money we will be making, at how much attention we will attract towards to worry. We can then build innovation hubs, right? We can then build innovation hubs. You can then teach your younger brother how to make money using affiliate marketing, using typewriting, using copywriting, technical writing, and they are doing what? They are making money from what? From it. True of us. So, I would like you guys to say this after me, because this is actually what it is. This is actually what it is. Worry our city, Delta our state, and South our region. Can you guys say it after me? Worry our city, Delta our state, and South our region. Worry our city, South our state, Delta our state, and South our region. All right, so can I hear you guys chorus it on your own? Let's go. And this is why conferences like this, with the most powerful voices in the region, to help shape the lives and the trajectories of the people, is what is needed. So I commend my very good friend, Mr. Onose Ogaga, for what? For giving. Please, next slide, please. But before we go, and as I come to a roundup of this particular lecture, I would like each and every one of us to ask ourselves this question. I have 7 questions that I outlined for you. And the questions that guarantee success in embracing this particular Web3 and the metaverse economy is, number 1, where am I untrained and underdeveloped? Who is available to what? To train me. Where am I untrained and underdeveloped? Who is available to what? To train me. What price am I willing to pay to master a topic in my life? Will you go and watch social media till infinity? Or will you take out 2 hours of your time on a daily basis and get 1% better at Web3, at the metaverse stuff? Just 1 hour every day. I tell you, in the next 1 month, the ripple effect of 1 hour you are putting into learning this particular thing, you will be what? Amazed. Then you can also ask yourself, let's say your interest is in Web3 and metaverse. You are doing something before, right? And you want to switch. You ask yourself, whom am I willing to hire to stay at the center of my what? Of my assignment. Because you want to be able to, the average millionaire has about 7 different sources of what? Of income. There's no need for you to destroy the old while wanting to, for that, because that particular old, right? This technology would also enable it. It's just a function of time. You will see how this technology would enable it. It will bring it to life. It will make it to sell better than it was selling. So you ask yourself that question. And you also ask yourself, what is my obsession? If your obsession is playing game, if your obsession is transferring, if your obsession is playing game, that means you might go and become a game developer. If you're an artist, you might become an NFT creator. Right? It just depends on on your obsession. If you are a writer, you can become a blockchain writer. He was talking about the careers in blockchain at a particular point in time. If you're a lawyer, you can become a blockchain lawyer. If you're a developer, you can become a blockchain developer. So you ask yourself, what is my obsession? So that you don't miss it. And not follow your passion, because blockchain enables everyone's passion. The next question you ask yourself is, in whose presence do I become a better person? So tomorrow now, let's say I stroll into this place and I give you possibly an assignment to do now. Then you now see me and start trying to hold yourself and show me that, yes, you have done this particular assignment very well, trying to prove to me that, okay, this is what blockchain is, this is what Web3 is, this is what metaverse is. In whose presence do you become a better person? And try so that you do not need to be in that person's presence before you are able to dish out all those information, because that will lead you to mastery and perfection. Then one question you will ask yourself, that is for those of you that will procrastinate, you will decide that you will not take any decision. The question you should ask yourself is, what is the missing impact of this action now in my life? If I don't do it, in 10 years from now, what will be the problem that it should have caused in my life? If you can ask yourself these 7 questions, your success in Web3 will be guaranteed. Please, the next slide for me. So in conclusion, in the words of my favorite Harvard professor, he said that in the past, right, man has been the first. In the future, the system will be first. There are a lot of you that are patronized some businesses that we are running on man-made structures. You also patronize some businesses that they have some machines to automate those processes, right? Which did you prefer patronizing? The ones that had machines, right? So in the past, man was the first. In the future, the system will be the first. So it is important for us to know how to build, code, and rewire these systems. Else, some of us will no longer have jobs. If any one of you here, if your job has been taken over by robots or industrialized, anybody? Oh, you. Which of your job was taken over by a robot or industrialized?
I'm studying electrical engineering, and people tend to say that there are no jobs for us anymore because machines and other things have actually taken over, and I find it to be true also.
Amazing. This girl, your head sharp. Oh. You are studying electrical electronics engineering? Okay. Yes, that was my first degree. That was my discipline in school. I did electrical electronics engineering. I finished from Covenant University and moved from there to blockchain because of this particular reason you just gave. So I had to upskill one step higher to be able to be relevant in the market of today. So a lot of us, there are some of us that are in medical, some of you that are reading how to all those scan x-rays, they snap people x-ray scan, they will give it to you, you go and use it. You know, doctors, they used to look at it. But now, machines look at those x-ray scans and they interpret it far way better than the doctors. So if you're a radiologist, you do not have a job anymore. Do you understand? So I say that Web3 and the metaverse will enable this system and make things that are more accessible. And I said, what can the metaverse and Web3 do to change this narrative? If you ask yourself those questions that I asked you earlier, right? It would enable you to start assessing the digital economy. By God's grace, VREM is an e-learning platform for all things blockchain and Web3 mastery. And as you know, there is a shift from a degree-powered economy to a skilled power economy. And blockchain skills makes the difference. You can go on vrem.co, which is just a click away, and be able to gain access to these skills. Thank you very much.